It's been nearly a decade since Simon McDermott and his dad Ted went viral when videos of the pair singing together in their car were shared millions of times online.
At the time, Ted had recently been diagnosed with dementia, and it was during these moments that father and son were able to reconnect again. Take a look.
Every moment's a day. Finish it. Every day seems a lifetime. Let me show you the way to a joy beyond compare. I can't wait.
There's so much to love about that moment. Morning.
Hiya, you're right.
Lovely to see you, Simon. I watched back some of those clips, and seeing those now, lots of people remember it. That was a really special moment in time, and people engaged, didn't they? There was something really magical. You just remind people, you were doing that routinely. That was something you did with your dad because, you know, it brought him into a place, didn't it? The songs brought him into a place that otherwise wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, Dad was a singer all his life in this, so he's sung since he was 16.
Yeah.
But when he started getting dementia, he got so aggressive. So as a way to calm him down, I got him in the car and we just drove around for hours and hours and hours just singing. So that was my kind of coping mechanism with Dad's aggression. So, I mean, Dad was not an aggressive person, but he would fly off the handle with the dementia in this. So we didn't know what was going on. Yeah, with frustration and also his fear, you know. I had no idea what was going through his mind at the time. So every time we got angry and aggressive, I got him in the car, we drove around for hours and hours singing this. And the year before, I was not in a good place with, like, trying to cope with, like, Dad's situation and everything. And the aggression at home in this, it was off the scale. And it all started because the whole reason why I was fundraising, because of the Alzheimer's Society. I was in a really bad place, and there was a national dementia helpline. I picked up the phone, and as soon as I spoke to that woman, that changed everything for me. It was just like a helpline for me, and it changed everything. So when I got Dad in the car, I thought, I shared the videos, started going viral. I thought I'd put a fundraising link underneath it, and then it was, yeah. That's how it all happened. Really.
Well, tell us the impact of that in terms of how much you raised.
I think it was 130,000 for Event More videos, yeah. So it was amazing, you know, and it all happened in like about 2 or 3 weeks.
I imagine as well, Simon, alongside the cash that you raised, which is amazing, you probably got a lot of people would have shared their stories with you, wouldn't they? Did you have a lot of that too?
Yeah, I mean, when I was working, I was checking the messages on Facebook, and there's literally thousands of messages coming in from around the world. And I'd be at work, and I'd be like nearly in tears because I'd be like, these people are pouring just what was going on to them, and I was going through the same thing. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel so alone, you know, because you feel, you know, if you're caring for somebody with dementia, you can feel isolated, you can feel quite alone. But and
you can't complain about it because you're doing it for someone you love and have always loved and has been part of your life, but it's hard. You're allowed to say it's hard, but,
100%
but there's a guilt of admitting it's hard because it almost seems then as if you don't want to do it. You know, this is where the loneliness can come in and the isolation.
Yeah, and also I think you realise how people stop popping around as well because they don't want to disturb things. And I always say, if you know somebody who's living with dementia or you know a family that's living with dementia, go round. Don't think that you're going to disturb things. Go round and, you know, interact with people because, you know, people are isolated, they're on their own and they're difficult. They're going through the same thing and the same questions over and over again. So that your visit with a cup of tea can change the day, you know.
Been reading your book, The Songs That Saved Us, which you've kind of updated a bit because this is about Ted's life, your dad's life, and you make really clear that you don't want him to be remembered or thought of as just the man with dementia singing in the car.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
And so you go back to kind of his childhood and his family, so you get an idea of like, the foundations. But he was a showman throughout life, a natty dresser, kind of passionate about family, not always settled, but he's had a life.
Yeah, but I mean, it's, like I say, he sang since he was 16, and Dad's the eldest of 14, so like he grew up in Wednesbury from a Fry Park estate and everything. So the book, it talks about all that and how that impacted him, and how that impacted me as well. You know what I mean? How it changed. He passed on his life.
Is that you?
That's me when I was a kid, yeah. So, well, I'm more than a kid, baby. So that's my dad.
Dad when he was performing.
That's when he was at Butlins, yeah. So, but Dad was always a showman. He was a big personality. But I also like when I went down to Birmingham and interviewed people on this and found out more about him, and also just caring about Dad now, I realised that was a very sensitive guy and he was a very kind guy. Even though he's a big showman, it also mask kind of a, not an insecurity, but a kind of a wanting to police people in a way and look after people. So
I
it's
dare
very
say
caring.
it's quite an emotional, well, obviously, a very emotional journey to make sure, as Aga was saying before, and a lot of families will know this, that feeling that there was a person before and then almost like a person afterwards. And you have to make sure you kind of don't separate them out in a way. You have to make sure you remember all of it.
100%, yeah. That's why I wrote the book, because I don't want Dad to be remembered as just a guy who's got dementia. He wasn't that. He's got a whole life in front of him.
Do you know?
And always like when, you know, you see people in old folks' homes and this, and you forget about who the people were before, you know. And these are people like me and you who's got this illness, and it's you know, it's awful. But
you've spoken to loads of family to get the stories of like what was going on, and I suppose some of it must have been really surprising, actually.
Yeah.
I love this story about your dad's relationship with your mum's mum.
Oh right, yeah, my nan,
Okay,
yeah.
so this, right? So they used to shout at each other a lot and have pointed arguments, and Nan used to affectionately mock his ego because he had quite a strut about him, didn't he? Clothes were important and everything like that. This really made me laugh. So you could hear Nan shouting, "Your head's so big that it would take 2 strong men to carry it on a platter." To which he would reply, "Maybe so, but if I put your head in my mouth, it would still rattle." I just find the sense of humour just so lovely. How is he now?
We've had like a challenging few weeks. Dad's really frail now. It's changed a lot, and it's kind of weird with dementia because you get used to one way of it, how it is, and all of a sudden something can happen and it completely changes, and that's what we're going through now. And I think we are in like the final chapters of everything. But he's at home, he's cared for, he's looked after really well. We've got great carers in this, so, and I think they'll be watching right now with my dad and that.
You can say thank you to them, you know.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I want to say. Or it's not just me and my mum that look after Dad. There's a team of people, and it's the carers that come every day to get Dad up in the morning and at lunchtime, and also sit with him as well. So, like I say, it's not just me and my mum. There's a whole team of people that help my dad.
I can tell you
and
for
help
sure,
us as well. You know.
Yeah, Simon, I can tell you for sure. Everyone watching this will be, you know, feeling sympathy for you. You know, as you come to as you describe, you know, towards the tail end of his life. Can I ask you? I mean, it might sound a bit trite from what you've just said, but does he still sing? Is that something that has gone away as well?
No, he'll try to sing. He'll still. I mean, Dad's very confused now. But sometimes when I'm getting into bed, he'll say, like, "Where are we going?" or "Are we going to the club?" or something like that. But he's very confused in this. But yeah. But I don't want people to feel sympathy for us at all. You know, I always say it's a part of life, and you just sometimes life throws things at you. You just got to get on with it.
But what you do with this book is you also highlight how, I mean, and this is something we've spoken about a lot on this programme, is that how carers need support. And when you get good ones, it's amazing.
Yeah. But
they need to be cherished far more,
100%,
perhaps, than they are now. And that's what you do with this, by telling his story.
Yeah. I appreciate that, yeah. But like I say, it's more than just me and my mum. There's carers and everybody around us. And there's people out there as well, there's carers. There's people at home right now who are probably watching this, who are probably thinking they're stuck in this situation and they don't know what to do in this. But I always say you will get through it. You know, don't lose hope in this. Even though you're feeling right at this moment in time, it's an absolute nightmare. You don't know how you're going to get through the day, but you will get through it. And
there are networks that you can contact as well, where people will talk to you and kind of in the same situation.
Don't be frightened to ask for help. You know, that's the main thing.
I'm very pleased you came in and told us and updated us on the story. It's really nice to hear. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Simon. Simon's book is called The Songs That Saved Us, My Dad, Dementia and Me.